Out of the 1.2 million 911 calls the Orleans Parish Communication District received in 2022, more than 5,000 needed a third-party interpreter service for a non-English speaking caller.
But that service the city relies on is now being questioned after an interpreter's comments violated the company's protocols. Andres Fuentes has the story.
Is that still giving you pain in the back of your shoulder?
No.
Archimedes Diaz goes to physical therapy once a week at UMC.
So we'll do 3 minutes forward.
It's part of his life now, a life that forever changed 6 months ago.
I
was outside of my apartment, listening to music, FaceTiming my girlfriend.
Someone shot him twice while he was sitting in his car. The bullets pierced his spine and his shoulder.
I don't know why it happened. Who did it? I don't know anything.
Diaz moved into his Algiers apartment on Garden Oaks Drive just 2 weeks prior, never thinking he would become a victim of a shooting. Now, paralyzed from the waist down.
We're trying to use the muscles that he does have to be able to maximize his independence and his functional mobility.
Through a live interpreter service.
Buenas tardes, señor. Mi nombre es Leticia. Soy intérprete de español. Para esta sesión todo será confidencial, ¿ok?
Okay.
Diaz hopes to gain some sense of normalcy after his life-altering tragedy. One he says is painful to remember, especially after listening to his 911 call.
Well, it's 911. What's the location of your emergency?
Hey, español.
Hello?
Español.
What's the location of your emergency?
Hey, no, do you take me in my bed? No speak too much.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
The 911 call center operator then transferred Diaz to an interpreter from the calling service, Voyance.
You will be connected to the next available interpreter. So that your interpreter may better assist you, please speak in short, clear statements.
Hello, my name is Adris, and I will be Spanish interpreter 35.
Una emergencia.
It's an emergency.
Okay, what's the location of your emergency?
You can hear the ringing where the call taker conferenced in the interpreter, and heard the recording, identify the language, Spanish was it, and then within seconds there was a Spanish interpreter on the line. That is standard on a daily basis.
Executive Director of the Orleans Parish Communication District, Tyrell Morris, says this particular call started out the same way as more than 5,000 other calls with non-English speaking people last year. A minute in, though, Diaz reveals his dire situation.
¿Cuál es la dirección de su emergencia?
I've been shot. I don't know what happened.
Señor, ¿cuál es la dirección de su emergencia?
Diaz confirms he was shot, and the interpreter asks where he's located. The incident report indicates that police were en route 1 minute and 4 seconds after the call started.
He got a shot, ma'am. He got shot.
Morris says that they got Diaz's location from tracking his phone.
Is he in the Garden Oaks, 3300 Garden Oaks Drive?
Diaz says he was new to the complex and the area as a whole. He couldn't think of the address or his location.
No sé, pero no me puedo mover, por favor, ayúdeme.
I don't know, but I cannot move. Please help me.
I'm trying to get some help, but I don't know where you're located.
I kept asking them to send help. I've been shot.
What made things more challenging, Diaz says he kept passing out, with the 911 operator calling back to keep him on the line.
Okay, I'm going to try to give him a call. Give him a call back. I'm going to call you right back.
911 got Diaz back on the phone, but 5 minutes later, they still hadn't nailed down his exact location.
You look like you hung up again. Let me try to call him right back, okay? 1 second, please.
At 10 minutes and 20 seconds after Diaz's initial call, 911 assures him someone is coming.
I have help coming to you. They're on the way.
But after multiple callbacks, the interpreter thought Diaz's story wasn't adding up.
But I think this person is not being honest, ma'am.
He's not. What is he saying?
He's just different. He's acting, ma'am. It is not a real emergency, but I don't want to hold it. We just need to do whatever you think we should do. But he's telling you different stories. all the time.
He's telling a different story. What is he saying?
Yeah, he said first that he was at the apartment, and then at the apartment he didn't know the address, and he's new there, and that's kind of weird.
The interpreter spent more than a minute telling the 911 operator that Diaz might be faking his story. Then 12 minutes and 40 seconds after the initial call, NOPD located Diaz.
Yeah, it's a fake emergency.
Okay, so it looks like the officers did find him.
We played the audio to Diaz and his girlfriend, Maria Martinez.
I'm speechless.
I'm in total shock right now. I can't even talk.
City Council member Helena Moreno, who's bilingual, echoed those statements.
Listening through this entire call, understanding English, understanding Spanish, there was not once in my mind where I thought, hey, I think this guy could potentially be lying. There needs to be a major investigation into what happened with this situation, and I wonder why we even have this particular company employed right now, if that's how their interpreters operate.
I was a little disappointed, right, in the re-questioning. I was a little disappointed in the interpreter not asking what the call taker told her to ask. And because of your inquiry, I have asked my command staff to do an assessment of the vendor.
Morris says the 911 center is looking at other interpreted calls done under Voyance that have been red flagged to make sure that they're all up to the center's standards. According to the 911 center officials, the agency pays the company monthly invoices for their services. The yearly range is between $22,000 and $30,000 a year. Voyance, rebranded as Cyrocom, says all interpreters are vetted, screened, and tested for bilingualism and specialized to handle a number of emergency calls, including assisting in finding an address. Morris says despite the inquiry into Voyance, the interpreters they offer often break language barriers in a way that no one at the 911 center is trained to do.
So there's no one here taking calls actively speaking different languages?
No, because we have the service. And so also we have to ensure that individuals that are translating, particularly in a public safety space, are certified. We have the ability to qualify their competency in the language. And so outsourcing that to a third party, which is standard in a 911 center of our size, it really ensures that the individuals providing that service are credentialed to do so.
Over the past 5 years, Fox 8 surveyed violent crimes ranging from armed robbery to homicides to carjackings among non-English speaking victims. 89% of those crimes were reported from Spanish-speaking victims.
Does that entice you at all maybe to hire some personnel here that might be able to quickly tend to their 911 calls?
I don't think hiring a call taker to answer the phone is going to speed up the process, right? So our call takers don't get to pick and choose what call they answer. Also, the 911 system doesn't know what language you speak when you dial the digits. And so if you get a call taker that does not speak that language, the process will still be the same.
No one is 911. What's the address of the emergency?
Morris says to get by without bilingual staff members, the 911 center taps into the Office of Public Engagement and the city's language access program. But Moreno thinks New Orleans can do more using the Hispanic Task Force, a region-wide task force originally designed for the COVID-19 pandemic.
You brought up an issue where, once again, this task force is needed. Just really, I think, not only, I guess, because some need assistance with outreach, but also for almost a bit of an oversight group, so that we can be aware of different situations, like, for example, this one, and really push on these issues to be resolved.
And as the city looks into Voyance, Diaz continues his rehab, hoping Latinos in the city who don't speak English have the life-saving resources they need.
We need to see more people who are able to speak Spanish. We need that kind of help because speaking English is difficult for a lot of us.
Reporting in New Orleans, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.
In a statement sent to Fox 8 this afternoon, a Cyrocom representative says, after obtaining a recording of the 911 call from NOPD, we found that the interpreter's actions during this call violated our company's training and interpretation protocols. This interpreter has not been employed by Voyance since November 2022.